I want to say thank you for capturing this important moment. This is a really very, very critical issue that we're all here dealing with. This is a real nationwide effort to end senseless gun violence, to get guns off the street. This is our 9th annual gun buyback. We have a lot of people who are on here today who wants to share some information about ending senseless gun violence. Before I bring on the mayor, I just want to say I'm real clear. I am not against a Second Amendment, but I am against senseless gun violence. I want to be real clear. And so, with that said, I want to bring on our mayor, our fierce leader, the hardworking, committed, intelligent, beautiful Mayor London Breed.
Well, thank you, Rudy, and good morning, everyone. And thank you all so much for joining us for this virtual press conference supporting United Playaz' 9th gun buyback that will take place this Saturday, December 12th, between 8 a.m. and 12 p.m. You don't have to get out of your car, no questions asked. Rudy will provide the details, but please help us to get the word out. We want to get as many weapons as possible off the street. Many of us here have been affected by gun violence at some point in our lives. And sadly, I feel like it's been my entire life. So many of you know that I grew up in the Western Addition, and you know that we have lost friends, family members, and this senseless violence continues. If we can get these guns off the streets, if we can get these guns out the hands of anyone who would use them, it is in the best interest of our communities, and it is in the best interest of our families and friends. Whether it's a friend or family member or someone we know from the neighborhood, as we are addressing this global pandemic, we are seeing heartbreaking news that there is an increase in gun-related incidents in our nation, with some of the victims being young kids, children. In San Francisco, we saw an increase in firearm-related incidents during the first 7 months of this year compared to the same period last year. Although we don't know all of the reasons, there is likely a relationship between the isolation, the absence of in-person support people usually get during normal times, and gun violence. Sadly, many of the critical in-person support systems that many people rely on are unavailable to do so in person, and there are fewer opportunities for intervention. But what we know is that the loss of a life from gun violence has to stop. We all need to work together to save lives and to keep our community safe. So many of you who are here today, who've been fighting to end gun violence for years, we need you. The gun buyback program provides people with the opportunities to get these guns out of their hands and homes, off the streets and out of our communities. Thanks to the charitable giving and fundraising efforts of our community partners, we will be able to purchase firearms from anyone who would like to turn them in, no questions asked. This event has brought in nearly 2,000 firearms in the past, getting them off the streets. Think about that. 2,000 guns off the streets because of this program. That means lives saved. This year, we are still continuing this effort to make sure that we are doing everything we can to reduce the harm and the violence on our streets and in our communities, as many people are struggling with so many different challenges. This is part of our broader effort, both locally and nationally, to end gun violence. We need to create common sense gun control legislation so these guns don't end up on our streets in the first place. We need to do more to engage our local youth and residents so they don't feel compelled to act violently in the first place. You know, every year that we do this gun buyback, we go and do it at the United Playaz office and facility location. And every year, when I look at those walls surrounded with African-American men that I grew up with, that I dated, that I went to school with, that I played in the playground with, these are men that are my age that did not have to die. And this is what this is about, to make sure that there is not one more Black man lost at the hands of anyone, whether that be law enforcement or any other community member. This is about changing the future, especially because African-American men in San Francisco and around this country continue to be victims of gun violence in this country at a young age. We can do better than that. We can do better, and it starts with each and every one of us. I don't want to see another photo go up on that wall. I don't want to see another life lost. So help us change that. Help us change that by turning in your guns. Help us change that by making sure that you're a part of the solution and not a part of the problem. Thank you to Rudy and the United Playaz team. We appreciate George Floyd's brother and his friend who are going to be speaking later with us today. We are so sorry for your loss. And we are so grateful that you have taken the time to be here with us to share your words and your advocacy for ending gun violence, especially in the African-American community. Thank you to all the community partners who are here to fight against violence every single day on the streets. I hope all you will continue to join this fight to end gun violence here in San Francisco and across the nation. And remember, this year's gun buyback event is between 8 a.m. and 12 p.m. this Saturday, no questions asked. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much, Mayor London Breed. And you're right, no questions asked. This effort around us doing this gun buyback is done by so many different partners, all the way from the mayor's office and all of her staff, to the music industry, to mothers who had lost their kids to gun violence, to the SFPD, to the private sector. There's so many people that are here together to work to make this happen. So it ain't just us doing it. This is a lot, and it takes a lot of different people to make it happen. And so when a bullet comes out one of those chambers, it doesn't discriminate. You rich, poor, black, white, peppermint stripe, it doesn't matter. And so that's what we're doing, is to make sure we end senseless gun violence. So it's my honor to have this brother who's coming on next. He's out there in Louisiana, Baton Rouge, but he fights all over the country, all over the world to make sure we end senseless gun violence. He's a good friend of mine, and he's taking the time to join us to help us with this gun buyback. My brother, Silky.
Thank you, Rudy. I just want to commend you on the work that you're doing and let you know that we really appreciate you allowing us to be a part of what's going on and what's taking place out in San Francisco. Due to COVID, of course, you know, we have to do it virtually, but it's better to do it virtually than not do it at all. And that's what I really commend you for stepping forward in a time when a pandemic is taking place. You're still thinking about those that will lose their lives to the violence and senseless killings that take place in the communities. And that's one of the things that we're very, 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 and of course, you know, I'm tearing up because I lost my brother 2 years ago to senseless killings in Louisiana. And we're very, very focused on getting these guns off the streets. And of course, you know, like you say, we're not against the Second Amendment. We strictly want to get the illegal guns off the street and bring awareness to gun owners that you can take your gun to work and leave it in your car and it becomes an illegal gun on the streets. This is important for us to make sure that we get these weapons out of the hands of the criminals that's out there committing these senseless acts of violence in our communities. And of course, you know, Stop the Killing has 18 years in. This is not our first time hooking up with United Playaz on an event like this. So we always try to keep that open. And that's why I was so happy to be a part of this. And of course, you know, to have Philonise, George Floyd's brother, be a part of this, and to have the police department a part of this, to let the world know that even though what happened to George is not something where it turned either of us anti-police, because we understand that we need the police, and we can't let the action of one bad person turn our feelings towards the police to be negative. So this is an important event that you're giving, Rudy. I just want to commend you on that. Thanks the mayor for her kind words to the family and to everyone in San Francisco. We have to get these guns off the street in order to stop the violence and senseless killings that's taking place in the street. So Rudy, I commend you, man, and thank you so much for what you're doing.
Thank you, brother. You know, usually around this time when we do the gun buyback, It's a nationwide effort amongst all of us doing it simultaneously. This year with the COVID, I believe we're like one of the only organizations that's doing the gun buyback. And it's the actual anniversary of Sandy Hook and Mayor London Breed. It's the actual anniversary of Ed Lee, who was a big supporter, our late mayor, who was a part of this gun buyback. And so, make sure we acknowledge them. I want to bring on George Floyd's brother. He's been so kind and being involved in this gun buyback, helping us out, supporting us, and for him to take his time out. My brother, like no other, Brother Philonise.
How y'all doing? I'm Philonise Floyd, Brother Philonise Floyd. I'm happy to be able to speak with you guys today. The buyback program, this is my first time being a part of one, but it's great knowing that you can decrease violence by taking guns off the streets. Many people out in the world don't understand just because you can go get a license, it still doesn't mean you should have a gun, because they don't show when they look at your background that you have a mental problem. It's not showing certain things. Just me growing up in a neighborhood where I see a lot of my friends, I ask about them, they say, oh, so-and-so passed away, or so-and-so passed away. It wasn't a natural disease. COVID didn't take them out. They died because somebody pulled the trigger, senseless violence, killing young men that are growing up, wanting to be something in their life. And me understanding that California had bad situations in the past, when I look at Watson, I look at a lot of different things when it comes to like the gangs and stuff, when it comes to the killing. Out here in Houston, I don't see a lot, but people are still doing it in different neighborhoods because we don't have a lot of gangs and stuff. But me, I commend you all for doing what you all doing. This buyback program, we need to have many more all across this nation. Not just here in the United States, it needs to be everywhere, because we need to take control of our neighborhoods. We need to make sure that we will be here tomorrow. I was born that night, but not last night. So thank you all so much for having me here. I want to decrease violence everywhere across this nation. And I know you like that, Rudy, because I can see you have a heart. I can see the passion that you have. And I thank you all, the mayor and everybody else, for participating in this event. And I wish I could be there, but COVID is holding us back. But hey, we're going to have a good time while we're here.
That's right.
Thank you all so much.
And we can't never forget that slogan, Rudy. It takes the hood to save the hood, and that's what this is, the hood to hood connect, man. So thank you for letting us be a part of this.
Hey, Mr. Rudy, we got to say this too, man.
Oh, yeah. And if y'all turn in 1,000 guns a day, Rudy has agreed to cut his hair.
Thank y'all so much.
Hey, Silk, I appreciate you and Philonise for joining us, you guys. I don't know about that one. Hey, don't trip, look. Right on, gentlemen, for joining us. It means a lot. And rest in peace to your brother, George Floyd. And
Thank
so
you.
I knew we had Jamie Foxx, who was going to join us. I know he's a busy man, but I know he provides his support with us also. So next, I want to bring on the CEO and founder of Empire Records, one of the biggest record labels in the country. My brother, who's also a native of San Francisco, like me and Mayor London Breed, is Ghazi. Brother Ghazi?
Hey, brother. What's up, Rudy?
Right now.
I just wanted to say I appreciate everything that you're doing for the community. I've known you for over 20 years, and it means a lot to me what you're doing for the community, what Mayor London Breed is doing for the community, and helping to keep our streets safe and hopefully a better place to raise our children and to conduct business and run operations in the city that has given me all of my livelihoods. So I just wanted to say that I truly appreciate it. It means a lot to me. I've lost a lot of people that I love over the years to senseless gun violence, quite a few in the last 60 days. And I just, want to do my part to contribute and just be a battery in your back. So thank you so much for everything that you do.
I want to say thank you so much, Brother Ghazi. He's being really, really humble. This gentleman right here was so instrumental of actually contributing to this cause and making it happen. And so, man, big respects to you guys. And I know you're going through a lot because we lost a lot of good brothers, man, in the music industry. And so what your contribute, help, and donation actually helps us to do what we do. So thank you so much, and I salute you, man, and look forward to working with you.
Appreciate it. Same. Thank you. God bless you.
God bless you too, baby. I want to also bring in one of our main partners to make this happen, and we can't make this happen unless we got SFPD. And I truly agree with Philonise and Silky about we make sure we do need our partners like the SFPD involved in this. And they've been so instrumental in making this happen, because without them, we couldn't do it. And so I'm going to bring on our captain of the Southern District, Mr. Falvey.
Thank you, Rudy, and thank you to everyone who's participating in this and making this a successful event. Gun buybacks are part of a proven strategy to address gun violence and help get firearms out of the wrong hands. And we thank you, Rudy, for your partnership with the police to allow us to participate and provide the resources you need to make this a successful event. I'd like to thank Mayor London Breed for her leadership on this and our public safety initiatives, programs like this that are really designed for the sole purpose of raising awareness about gun violence and reducing the likelihood of future gun violence by getting these firearms off the streets now. And so with that continued partnership, we at Southern Station are very grateful for the opportunity to work with you and reach out to the community, because it's not just one day. People hear about United Playaz and they see the work you're doing, and then they start talking about gun violence. And that's one of the things I'd like to get is people talking about this gun buyback to make sure the word gets out, because I think a lot of people would be surprised to know how many of their friends and family members have firearms in their home and who don't want them anymore. And, we want to make sure that these guns are taken off the street. Some people, maybe they had a relative who passed away and they found a gun in their house. They don't know how to get rid of it. Please bring that to the gun buyback. We will take care of destroying the weapon. No questions asked. And also, we don't want guns left carelessly in homes where there could be tragedies where children find guns, or if burglars get into your home and they find guns that aren't properly stored. These are the guns that wind up in the wrong hands out on the streets and contribute to the gun violence problem. So we are glad to be working with you, Rudy, with the staff at City Hall who are helping us with this. And we will bring the resources necessary to collect the firearms safely, to get them off the streets, and we will destroy them afterwards. So please get the word out, and look forward to seeing you there, Rudy, at little before 8 o'clock on Saturday morning at 1038 Howard Street. So please, everyone, get the word out, get the guns out of the houses, and keep them out of the wrong hands. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Captain. And when we meet in the morning, we ain't gonna have no donuts for y'all here, but we're gonna have some burritos, breakfast burritos. How about that? Yeah. Hey, real quick, thank you so much. We have one more speaker. I'll say the best for last, you guys. Before I bring the sister on, I do want to say that the outreach that's being done prior to our gun buyback is done by 15 people led by Everett Butler, who did a life sentence in prison. And everybody who's doing the flyers or putting up the posts are all ex-lifers who did a life sentence behind murder, but now they're giving life instead of taking life. And so when Captain talked about destroying the guns, these are the guns right here from the last gun buyback. We're actually destroying them. So, for all the critics, we are destroying these guns, and they ain't gonna hurt, harm, or kill anybody again. And so with that said, my partner who actually helps destroy the guns and creates art out of them is a mother who had lost her son to gun violence, and she's the founder of the Robbie Poblet Foundation, which is her son's name. I want to welcome you, Patty. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rudy. I wanted to thank first the United Playaz and Mayor Breed for bringing us all together here this morning. My name is Patty Navalta Pobletti. I'm the founder of the Robbie Pobletti Foundation. It's an organization I founded in honor of my son, Robbie, who was shot and killed by someone who had obtained a gun illegally. After the weapon was used to kill my son, it was then resold on the streets where it was used to commit another crime. So I believe in gun buybacks because I know firsthand that one gun has the potential to commit numerous crimes and take numerous lives. The week that my son was killed, he had laid out a suit on his bed in preparation for a job interview that he was guaranteed to get the job. Instead, it was the suit that he was buried in. And that's what gun violence does in a matter of seconds. It can rob someone of their life, and it can change the lives of everyone left behind, and that includes the perpetrators. So now we're in COVID-19. It's a public health crisis that has only exacerbated this existing health crisis of gun violence. Since the pandemic, we've seen a sharp increase in gun sales. In June alone, there were already 2.6 million additional sales. We now have more guns in circulation, with millions of children staying home from school, domestic abuse victims stuck at home with their abusers. We have people facing depression due to unemployment and isolation. So when you add access to guns on top of that, you are facing a convergence of major health crises and more loss of life. And I think we all know that low-income Black and Brown communities suffer the most when it comes to both gun violence and the pandemic. So 2020 has been a challenging year, but it has been a transformative year. It's a year of reckoning where people across the country have marched against systemic racism and injustice. I believe we have to be just as passionate about preventing gun violence, which disproportionately impacts communities of color. Now, I know I can't get my son back, but I can do whatever I can to make sure that there are fewer mothers who lose their children. And I want to thank Mayor Breed. I want to thank United Playaz. I want to thank you, the family of George Floyd, and the other speakers for lifting their voices and sharing their pain and their passion so that we could put an end to senseless gun violence. I just want to encourage everyone to bring your unwanted guns to the buyback Saturday, because you'll never know how many children's lives you've saved and people's lives that you've saved by doing so. Thank you.
Real talk. Right on, Patty. Thank you so much. May your son, Robbie Poblet, rest in peace. And so I want to thank everybody on here for sharing their wisdom, their knowledge, and their experience. And a lot of people say these gun buybacks are not effective. Let me share this with y'all. I'm a survivor of gun violence twice. The last time I was shot at was in 2012 in this neighborhood that I'm at with somebody who actually got murdered yesterday, 3 blocks up. And so one gun off the streets, for people who say this doesn't work, one gun off the streets can destroy one person's life. And that one person's life could be the person who could save this whole planet. You never know who that person can be, who that person will grow up to be. And so we want to make sure we get all the guns we can. Like I said, I'm not against the Second Amendment, but I am against senseless gun violence. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be little kids. It should be innocent people going to work, working hard for their families to get killed because somebody else has issues and problems and they don't know how to shoot at the whatever target they're trying to hit. And I'm not trying to advocate violence, but I understand the streets and I understand the world that we live in. So I want to be real clear. I am against the Second Amendment, but I am against senseless gun violence. And one gun that you may turn in actually will be the life that you may save, that may save this world. How about that? And so thank you guys for everybody on here. Ghazi, Mayor London Breed, Patty, right? Captain, right? Falvey, Silky, right? Philonise. All you guys for your effort to help us end senseless gun violence, you guys. We got to do it together, collectively. United we stand, divided we fall. And I'm a player. You heard me? I'm a united player for real. We get us all together, man, because bullets, guess what? They don't discriminate and they ain't got no names on it. Don't wait till somebody you know or somebody you love to get killed for you to be involved and say, I want to be a part of this. Nah, you want to get involved now. And you play your part by turning in your guns that you don't need no more, that's in your houses or that you don't use no more. And so I want to say thank you, guys. Thank you, Mayor London Breed, for being the leader that you are.
Thank you, Rudy. And can you just remind people of the date, the time, and the location one more time?
Got you. So it's this Saturday, December the 12th at 8 a.m. to 12 noon at my headquarters, 1038 Howard Street in San Francisco. No questions asked. I'll give you $100 for a handgun, shotgun, or rifle. And if it's an assault rifle, I'll give you $200. You bring me 5 handguns, I'm gonna give you $500. And so come on with it. Rain or shine.
You don't have to get out of your car. You don't have to do anything. Just drive up, keep your mask on, and We'll get it out your trunk. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to touch anybody. You don't have to talk to anybody. No
That's right.
questions asked.
Hey, thank you for that, because we in the COVID free. We've been planning this for the last 2-3 months, and we have a way where it's all COVID free. It's all COVID free. Everybody's masked up. Everybody got shields on. Our team with the captain, right? Captain McDonald and Damien has been together. We've been planning this. And so we got a great plan to stay COVID free and sucker free. Thank you. Any questions? So I want to turn it over to Maria Valdez.
Hi, thank you, Rudy, and everyone here for speaking with us about such an important event. My name is Marie Valdez with San Francisco's COVID Command Center, and we are happy to help address any questions you may have from today's press conference. Please email us at dempress@sfgov.org. Again, that's dempress@sfgov.org, and we're happy to help with your questions. And with that, I think that's everything from me. I'm going to hand it back to Rudy to remind us of the details one final time, and if you wanted to give your contact information as well. And thank you again, everyone.
Yeah, so once again, this Saturday, December the 12th, the anniversary of Sandy Hook, 8 a.m. to 12 noon, $100 for your guns, $200 for assault rifles, right here at 1038 Howard Street. Come on by, no questions. If you want to contact me, get more details, my number is 415-716-4100. 415-716-4100. Get at me. All right, is there any questions that we need to answer?
Not at this time. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you guys, everybody. Appreciate y'all. One
Thank
love,
you,
y'all.
everybody.
Thank you.
Hold on, Mayor.
Thank you.